Yes, YouTube, I hope that you're good. It's Ben Hawksworth at the Coach Consultant, and today I'm going to be doing a live training which is going to be covering closing on call, and I'm actually going to do it on a interactive iPad because I feel like this visual representation and notes is the best way for you to come in and digest it. And I believe that once you actually understand and connect with this principle associated with a sales call, then when you are going into it, you are 10 times more confident, you know what type of structure to be running, and the chances of you actually getting that sale is going to be dramatically increased by literally just understanding what I am showing you directly on screen right now. So I'm just going to make some quick notes overall just so we've got some awareness of the three different sections. So we've got number one basically at the top, which is a low chance of a sale. So I'm going to do that one in red. So we've got low chance of a sale, and as you can basically see, this is a smaller distance between their current position and their desired position, and there's obviously only 3 bits of fire between that one. Right, I'm going to talk about the fire in a second. The next one, we've basically got a moderate chance of a sale. So as we can basically see here, we've got a little bit more fire, we've got a little bit more distance from their current situation to their desired situation, right? When we're looking at the bottom one, this is going to be a much higher chance of a sale. So let's do that one in green. So a higher chance of a sale will equal the distance from their current position to their desired position is greater and much larger, alongside the amount of pain and fire that is in between that point. What you've got to take into account when you actually start moving into your sales calls is, in order for you to create distance, so let's start with distance as a first starting point. Unless you completely and utterly know their current situation, so right now, in this exact moment, how are they feeling and what are they experiencing, you cannot actually create a picture for what their desired situation is on the right hand side there, because you've got nothing to actually compare against, you've got nothing to bounce back on. So what we basically need to be doing here is asking as many questions as humanly possible, right? Let's just say, for example, in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the call, or upwards of 30 minutes of the call, even longer, the main thing that you want to be asking about is everything associated with their current situation right now. It's not, for example, looking forward. We are not talking about their goals. All we are basically doing is finding out, right, what pain. Right, that is all we're looking for. What is the reason that they are on this call? What pain are they under? What problems are they facing? And also, what areas have they actually tried before? Right? If we can find out those 3 situations by asking as many questions as humanly possible about their current situation, that's going to allow us to basically have that initial starting point, right? So we've got that initial starting point before we even start talking about their goals or diving into anything else, right? But what we've got to take into account here, that is still only talking about their current position, right? So when we're basically looking at someone's current position as a starting point, so for example, it's like, right, what pain are they under, what problems, and also what have they tried before? But we've got this big space what needs to be filled with as much pain as humanly possible. And I've done a previous video on this before where I always say to people that you need to be looking at pain as positive, right? Pain is not negative in any way, shape or form. Pain is what will lead to action. Action is what will lead to someone actually doing the thing that they said that they were going to do and achieving the thing that they said they wanted to do, right? So when we're putting someone under pain, this is not a negative thing in any way, shape or form. And I am completely and utterly against, for example, just pain point, right? Pain point is just a trigger word, right? What I want you to basically imagine here is I want you to swap that, and I want you to actually start doing pain questions, right? When you flip the perspective to be looking at that type of narrative, rather than highlighting and just pinpointing and battering someone on the pain points, ask them questions about it. Right. So, for example, in order for us to create more distance from their current position to their desired position, we need to basically create as much pain as humanly possible, but also not creating a way where we are going to get someone with an inflamed ego and they're going to put the barriers up and they're not going to speak to us anymore, because that's not going to help the sales process in any way, shape or form. So what we've got to look at here, and let's just say the first portion, is what does that mean to you? When you've gone through that process before, why is it that you want to alleviate? Why is that such a problem for you? How does this affect you? How does this affect people around you? Based on where you are right now, based to where you want to be, what's actually stopping you, right? We're asking as many questions as humanly possible around whatever that pain point is, right? Over time, I'm just going to come down onto here. Over time, we are basically going to get to a point where at the start of the call, we do not know nothing about them in any way, shape or form, right? Once we've gone through their desired situation down at the bottom, we're going to get to a point where we start to know a little bit more about them, right? And then when you start asking more questions around what they are struggling with and understanding, articulating, and most importantly, diagnosing So we want to be coming in and diagnosing as many problems as humanly possible, because what that will basically do is that will get to a point where someone's going to have that big red spot in the middle and we've got them sitting in that pocket, right? In order for us to get a sale, we need to have someone sat in that pocket, because they are going to be in pain, and then they are going to get to a point of actually wanting to move into action. And action is going to be paying for your services, and you're going to help them because you're a great person, and you're actually going to be able to help them and alleviate their pain. What we've got to take into account at this point within the actual call is we've still not spoke about their goals, and we've still not actually spoke about the distance, right? The distance will always come down to comparison, right? So what I want you to imagine right now is you've got your phone, you've got your iOS maps, or you go on Google Maps or whatever it may be. You type in your current location and then you type in your desired situation. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to attempt to draw a car, but when we're basically coming on here, let's just say that we've got a car down at the bottom, wheel up, across, there we are. So this is basically current, right? And then we've got to go through a distance to get to, obviously, desired, right? If it's let's just say, for example, it's a 10-minute trip, right? Someone might turn around and go, oh, I can walk that. If it's a 4-hour, you're not going to be happy about that because no one wants to drive for 4 hours, but you can go car. If it's 24 hours, you're like, oh my God, how am I actually going to come in and get there? We want people to be thinking, oh my God, I don't even know how to actually get to my goal based on how far I am away from it. That is the main thing that we want to be doing by asking questions about their current situation, by talking about their pain points and asking them questions about their pain points. And then most importantly is making sure that in this process, before you coming into anything else, you are going to be coming in and you're going to talk about their goals, right? So we're going to talk about their goals, because what we do is what's missing. This is as simple as basically getting to a point where someone is like, why have you not done this yourself? They are sat there and they're like, I know all the situation, I understand, I've diagnosed everything, but I have no idea how to get there in any way, shape or form. And that is great, because that's the exact situation that we need to be in to basically get to a point of actually coming in and pitching and closing. So in essence, another way that we can be looking at this is if I've got in here, and then I've got a person here. That's a terrible person, sorry. And then we've got a gap in this middle bit. Right, what we basically want at this point is to have someone where it's like, right, sweet, current situation, desired situation, what's missing? My program. We want people to be looking at this as your program is the gap and the bridge that gets them from where they are in their current situation to where they want to be. So, for example, in this diagram down at the bottom, if it lets me zoom in, so this diagram down at the bottom, if we wanted someone to get to a point of actually closing on call, the only thing that we are going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to put those fires out. We're going to put those fires out by basically turning around and saying, like, look, the solution to you getting away from this situation is the program that we have. The reason that I know that I can come in and help you is because I've already done this for hundreds of people like you before. The reason that I know that I can help you is because I've worked with this niche for X amount of time and I know the ins and outs of them. The reason that I can help them is because you've got case study X, Y, and Z there who's been in the exact same situation as you and got to the exact desired situation as you. And our program is the solution to everything that you are feeling right now. Once you go into it that type of mindset and you come at the end, the chances of you having a sale is going to be 10x greater than what it was before. So what I really want you to be taking into account at this point, guys, is also when someone is in that middle point, and one of the most common things that I see with fitness professionals, and I also see it a lot with our community, is you naturally want to help people. So let's just say, for example, we've got pain, right? Most of the time, fitness professionals, when someone comes to them with pain, your natural response, and you might listen to this right now and relate to it, is you go solution, right? You naturally want to give them a solution, right? That's just our natural thing as a human being, where someone's under pain, you know that you can help them, so you give them their advice and you give them what they need in that moment. That is the worst thing that you could possibly do on a sales call. The rationale for that is if someone knows what to do, that's another bit of pain extinguished. Right? If you're giving someone the answers and giving some of the solutions, why do they actually need you? right? We need someone to experience that, and then we need someone to be looking at the program. But we want someone to be at this point where it's like, fire extinguisher, this is our program, that's how we can find solutions to you guys. So in essence, you never ever want to be giving solutions to people's problems on a sales call. You want to be understanding them and diagnosing them as much as possible is the single most important thing, because when you come in and you ask questions, you will get to a point where someone is almost looking at it from their own perspective, and that you are creating a deeper understanding associated with their current pain, right? And what we want is we want people to feel like, and obviously you do want to be doing this anyway, because if you want to work with them, we want people to basically be in a position where they're like, this person really understands where I'm at right now, right? But we also want them to be under pain as well, because if not, they're going to think they can go and do it themselves, and they're going to go and try and do it themselves. They're going to fail and come back round again. And if you are a person and you are in a situation where you are highly, highly confident associated with the fact that you are going to get results, when you are putting someone under pain, when you are creating that distance, when you are assessing their current situation, when you are creating the space in between their current situation to their desired position, that's going to basically lead to someone who's going to have a lower action threshold, right? If you have given someone loads of solutions, and if you've given someone loads of different areas that you can solve their problem straight away on the call, and almost like they don't need you, they're going to have a higher action threshold. So they're going to pretty much kind of go away and think, right, well, I can go and do this myself, right? Whereas we want someone to have a lower action threshold, which means when you come in and you present your actual offer, right, at the end, when you've got your offer, when you've got your process, and then when you've got your price, people aren't bothered about that, because all they're caring about is this space. Right, that space and the pain that they are in is the single most important element that you need in order to close the sales call, guys. So I hope that you understand the principles behind that. I know it's a little bit messy, but it's the best way I could visually demonstrate this graphic to you. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe. I always forget to say this. If you want to know what we do at the Coach Consultant, then there's a link somewhere around my bio, guys. And if you want any videos, please let me know. 3 per week is going to be maintained, and I'll see you next time.